everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a huge empties. I have my big box of empty beauty products here, and I think I'll just start with the makeup because a lot of these empties I would have already spoken about in like their various projects. So a lot of these have featured in like previous project pans and stuff, so I won't ramble on about them too much, but I just thought it would be good to share with you this big collection of empty products so that I can then dispose of them correctly and like move them out of my house. And some of these have been in here for a really long time, like to the point where I'd even completely forgotten that I'd used them up. So I've got loads of lipsticks. I'll start with those. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lipsticks, 5 of which are MAC. So I've got my MAC Dodgy Girl, which is this really nice lilac-y shade, and I do have a backup of this one because when it was released I loved it so much that I bought a backup, which is here. This was from the Kelly Osbourne collection many moons ago. So I am glad to have a backup of that, even though it is like ridiculously old. Then I have my MAC Oh Darling, which was a very light peachy shade. Then I had MAC Honey Love, which again is like a nudie brown matte shade. I've got my Calm Heat and Only You, which I've just recently used up in my Project 10 pan. Only You is like a sort of warm toned pink in a cream sheen finish, and Calm Heat is a matte, very pale nude. It looks a little bit like Flesh Pot. And I also had my liquid lipstick in the shade I'm Nude. This was a Jeffree Star one. This has been in my empties for months and months, so it'd be good to dispose of that. And then I've got a lip gloss. This was the MAC Dream Lover lip gloss from the Mariah Carey collection again, and this was just like a sort of really sparkly light nude. I had another lip gloss in this collection as well, which was a more goldy tone, which I used up a couple of years ago. And then other lip products, I had my Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude, which you know I love, and hopefully I'm going to be getting another one of those soon. And I think that is all for lip products. I had my MAC Style Blush, which if you remember is like a tangerine sort of shade. I should just preface this by saying any of the MAC products shown I will not be repurchasing because they are not technically cruelty free, and also they stopped their Back to MAC program, which I think is ridiculous, so won't be purchasing any of those. I do also have a backup of I'm Nude from Jeffree Star, just to let you know. I had the Laura Mercier translucent powder in this big tub. This is just the translucent shade. I did really like this. I don't believe Laura Mercier are cruelty free. You can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But yeah, for that reason I won't repurchase. But I would consider repurchasing if it was cruelty free. Another powder was my Fenty Beauty powder, which you guys know I've just recently used up. It's their Pro Filter powder foundation in the shade 105. And yeah, really nice powder foundation. Kind of similar to the MAC Studio Fix powder foundation, but not as creamy and pigmented, I would say. I don't think I would repurchase this one. Another powder here is the Rimmel Kind and Free translucent, and this was more of that true sort of like white transparent shade. I did really enjoy this. It is pretty much just a bog standard, is it talc? But yeah, it does what it says on the tin really. It just sets down your makeup, and it's quite cheap as well, which is nice. Then I had 2 Revolution concealers. This one I used up ages ago. It's the In Real Life Filter Finish concealer in the shade CO.2. Super lightweight, super brightening, not much coverage on that one. And then this one was, I'd say, light to medium coverage. It's the Conceal and Define one that I've just recently used up in the shade C5.7. Both really nice for under the eyes. I had the e.l.f. Camo CC cream in my Empties. This is Fair 140. I did like this to mix in with other products, but I didn't like it on its own. So yeah, I may repurchase this again. It was a really nice shade for me. It was quite on the yellowy side, which suits my undertone quite well. So for that reason, I might repurchase it again for mixing purposes. But on its own, it didn't wear very nicely on me. It sort of broke down quite easily. And then I had a mascara. This is just my normal Rimmel Extreme Black Volume Mascara. It's one of these brushes. So it's quite a natural bristle brush. And it just seems to work really well with my lashes and sort of really getting in there at the root. And then I had this MUA Brow Define Micro Precision Brow Pencil. I think it's in the shade Blonde or Fair, I'm not sure. But it was one of those super fine thin nibs, and while the colour is absolutely spot on, and I really like having a micro pencil to fill in the shape of my brows, I just really like how like neat and precise you can be. However, these types of pencils really don't work that well for me because I have such thick, coarse eyebrow hairs. The nib just breaks off like almost every time I use it. So this lasted like 2 weeks, like not long at all. So for that reason, I don't think I would repurchase this one. I have found one I'm really enjoying from e.l.f., which is only £4 anyway, so I think I'd just stick to that one. Moving on to skincare products, I had a big Garnier Micellar Water. I go through this stuff like nobody's business. It's just what I use to take off my makeup most nights. Even if I use my cleansing balm, which sometimes I do if I've got heavy makeup on, I'll still go on and use this after just to get off the remaining product. I love it. I've even got one on the go now which has only got about a quarter left. I have another couple of Garnier products. These two would have featured in my skincare inventory if you saw that a few months ago. So I used up the Garnier Pure Active Matte Face Moisturiser. Wouldn't repurchase this. It's like one of those almost like minty, you know, tea tree sort of moisturisers, which is fine. It feels nice and cooling, but it was very matte, not very hydrating, which in my old age I need something a little bit more hydrating now. That would have worked wonders for me when I was in my teens and 20s. And then I used up my SPF. This was the Invisible Serum SPF 50. Really nice for just sort of under makeup as your sort of just moisturiser really if you wanted SPF 50. I like this because it was just a simple step in my routine that I could just pop on before makeup. It did just have that like sun cream smell, and it just felt like, you know, they're normal just body SPFs, it just felt like that. So I'd probably look into purchasing a different one if, you know, I didn't want to purchase this one again. But it is a nice option and it's quite cheap, so I think that's all for skincare. Oh no, I have a little sample here that came with some of my birthday products. This is the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Eye Cream. I've actually used up a whole tub of this eye cream before. If you've been with my channel for that long, you might remember that. But it's like a nice sort of yellowy toned, creamy under eye moisturiser. Really lovely. I would love to have this again, but it's quite expensive and it's an eye cream, which you guys know I slack on using. And then moving on to hair, I've got 4 products here. The first one is the Glycolic Acid Exfoliating Scalp Scrub from the Inky List. And this you would just use as like a scalp treatment before washing your hair. And it says, used as a pre-shampoo treatment, Can be used on a wet or dry scalp. Use the nozzle to apply, and you'd basically leave it on for 10 minutes and it would sort of exfoliate your scalp in a very natural, gentle way. And as you guys know, I have curly hair. I use a lot of curly hair products and it can result in a little bit of build up, so I would just use this sort of once a week, once every 2 weeks to minimise that build up. Then I have a very dirty looking Nature Spell hair oil. This is the rosemary oil that everyone uses basically to help with hair growth, and I really do think this works. I used it all around the front of my hairline after I'd given birth, and I had postpartum hair loss around the front and it was really thinning. I used this and I could actually see like the regrowth, the little hairs coming through, so would highly recommend if you want to thicken or regrow hair. And I would put this on before bed and sleep in it as a bit of an overnight mask. Next up, I've got my As I Am co-wash. This is just the shampoo / conditioner that I use. I will never stop raving about this product. I've used this for like 7 years. It's such a good co-wash for curly hair. Super moisturising, but it doesn't leave your hair greasy, and it's just a one-stop shop for cleansing your hair gently if you have curly hair. I used up this sample. It says hard water shampoo, anti-breakage formula. I think the brand is Hello Clean. This didn't even cover like a quarter of my hair, so I can't really give this a fair review, to be honest with you, but I thought I'd keep it just to show you I used up another sample. And then the last product I have in here is the Saint-Tropez Express self-tan. You can do this in 1 hour supposedly, but I like to leave it on. Sometimes, most of the time, I'll put it on before bed and sleep in it and then wash it off in the morning. It's my favourite colour tan because it just suits my skin tone really nicely. It's got that sort of olivey undertone, which is really nice. Yeah, I would definitely repurchase this, even though it is bloody expensive and you can get much cheaper ones. I just love the result that I get with this. So that is everything for this Empties video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you want me to carry on doing these videos, do let me know and I will continue to save my empty products. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would absolutely love you for it, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video.